Hey guys, and welcome back to another Movie Talk Monday. And so I wanted to talk to you guys about the movie Tarot. I did go and check it out, and I wanted to give you my take on just how good or bad it was and exactly what I thought. So I will definitely say that my review of it was surprising to me because of the reviews and the rating that it had on IMDb before I went to see it. So let's get into it. So my rating for the movie was a 7 out of 10. And for me, the biggest part of what I found surprising about the movie was the character Paxton. He is actually played by Jacob Batalon, I believe is how his last name's pronounced. I could be mispronouncing that, so definitely feel free to correct me in the comments if you'd like. But I thought he had a great performance. He added just this really great realistic comedy into the movie. His comedic timing was wonderful, and it just sprinkled in just enough laughs for you to not feel too terrified, even though the scary parts definitely were great. But loved his performance and definitely thought he added some great aspects to the movie. One thing I definitely want to start adding to these reviews is the trailer test. So does the trailer spoil it? Does it give too much? Does it polish the term is polish a turd, which I'm sorry, that's probably not the best way to put that. But basically, does the trailer sell you on a movie that really isn't that great? So that is a big thing that me and my husband always talk about after we watch a movie is, was the trailer a good representation of the movie, or did it oversell it, or did it actually undersell it? So I want to talk about that in these reviews, so that way you have an idea about that, because that always makes us upset when we see that a trailer gave away all the best parts of the movie. Have you had that happen where you're about to watch a comedy movie and you're really excited and you go in and you watch it and then you're like, man, they gave all of the best jokes in that entire movie in the trailer, so there was nothing left to laugh at? So that is always something that we want to talk about. So I wanted to make sure that I start adding that into these movie reviews, so that way you know and you have the answer to that ahead of time. So for the trailer test on this one, it definitely felt like it passed the trailer test. So there are some things that they give away in the trailer, but at the same time, it takes nothing away from the movie. I didn't really think about the trailer at all while I was watching it, and even though I did remember some moments that do come up, it didn't spoil them at all. So definitely passed that with flying colors. Where I did feel like it fell a little bit short was that the lead actors, they're supposed to have this like romantic relationship. I just didn't feel like they sold it at all. They didn't really have much chemistry, and it just didn't really mesh to me. And because of that, I was just like meh about their situation. But the other thing that kind of brought the whole thing down for me was the fact that the main actress is basically a walking encyclopedia of all things tarot, which is very weird. So the reason that I think it's weird is because I've actually personally been reading tarot cards for years and years and years, actually since I picked up a deck of tarot cards when I was a kid, and that was at a garage sale. So I can personally tell you that I did not experience anything crazy or weird when it came to using somebody else's cards. So yeah, I just wanted to put that in there for a little quick story time. I don't find anything creepy or scary about tarot in particular. I love reading them, but that's just, neither here nor there. The reason I mention that is because as long as I've been reading them, I still pull out my reference material when I'm reading tarot cards, because I don't have an eidetic memory. So there's no way that I would be able to read someone's cards and be that on point with every single thing, not to mention to know astrology as if I've got a PhD in it. I just don't feel like that's realistic. So because I couldn't buy into that aspect of it, it just kind of kept beating me over the head with it, and I didn't really feel like they sold it well enough. Not to mention that the explanation that the main character gives eventually in the film, as far as to why her knowledge is so vast about it, just really doesn't balance with the level of expertise that she displays in the movie. I don't think that anything would have been taken away either had they just had her look the stuff up on her phone. Wouldn't have been that bad. Also, if she had just maybe ad-libbed some of it, you know, when it comes to what she thought certain things meant versus it being so analytical. So I get that part of the reason for that is because that all ties into all the terrorizing and things that happen later and exactly what happens, but I just really don't feel like that balanced enough. And when you watch the movie, let me know in the comments what you think about it, if you watch the movie, that is. So you can tell me if you felt the same or if you thought it was perfectly fine or acceptable or made sense for the movie. Again, this is just my opinion. You may have different thoughts or feelings about it, which is perfectly fine. But I just wanted to add that in there as far as to why I felt it got docked a little bit on that aspect of it. The main actress, Harriet Slater, I thought overall did a pretty decent job considering I haven't seen a whole lot of movies with her in them. As far as I looked up on IMDb, she's had quite a few shows that she's been in, I want to say, but she still did her performance holds up pretty good. So as far as that goes, thumbs up to her for that. And without further ado, some of the other tests and things that I put in my other reviews, not to be forgotten, is the scary to story ratio. For this one, I definitely would say it was well balanced. So you don't get too much story and you don't get too much scary. You get a perfect marriage of the two. So they start out with making all the characters pretty relatable very easily. So you just kind of slide right on into their story and you get to know them just enough to like them, but not enough to bat you over the head with it to where you're like, okay, come on, when's the scary stuff gonna happen? So this does a great job of just giving you enough and then getting right into the scary stuff. The other part about that is the scary stuff packs a good punch once it gets there. So I love, again, and if you've watched any of my other review videos, I really like and appreciate when a scary movie leaves just enough in the shadows or just enough to your imagination that your imagination goes into overdrive and you even scare yourself while you're sitting in the theater and don't even want to look at the screen. So I really like when they do that because it adds just another level of enjoyment and adrenaline to the movie. So this one in particular definitely does a great job of that. There are some scenes that I won't forget because they are just very, very creepy, and they're one of those things that you imagine, oh, if that happened to me, I would be the heck out of there. And I really love when they do that because that's kind of what the whole point of watching a scary movie is about, right? So definitely love that they did that. That being said, the husband sleep test. Did it pass? Did it not? It passed. So husband stayed awake the entire time. He did not ever get sleepy or even look like he was potentially going to fall asleep, because I think of the fact that because of that Paxton character and all the funny parts that he had, it just kind of helped break up some of the storyline pacing and some of the scary aspects to it. So you get to kind of wake back up, if you will, with some of that laughing aspect of it. So I think that made it to where it just kept him engaged enough that he was able to stay alert the whole time. Another one of my recurring things that I put in these movie reviews is, would I rewatch it and would I buy it when it comes out on streaming or out on DVD, whatever? Yes, I would. This one was a fun watch, and because it's got all that humor in it, I absolutely would watch this. I can definitely see it being one of those that I add to my yearly list of movies that I marathon around Halloween time, because it's funny. It's got just enough storyline, like I said, a great balance and pacing of the scary to story ratio. The acting was decent, and the storyline is scary enough that it keeps you engaged and creeps you out, but then also has a good ending. So all of those things being considered, 1000% would rewatch and definitely would buy it once it comes out. So this movie also being one of the first kind of start of almost summertime scary movie lineup, makes me just that much more excited for all the movies that are coming, and I am extra excited to watch the new Quiet Place movie that's coming out. Lupita Nyong'o alone being a part of that project made me go into hyperdrive excitement because she's been amazing in everything she's done, and I know that there's no doubt that with her co-star, and with John Krasinski, it's going to be an amazing watch, and I am super excited for that. Quiet Place Part 1 and 2 are also amazing. If you've never seen them, I would say they kind of fall into that horror drama category for me because they have a lot more depth of feeling and attachment to the characters than you normally find in your average horror movie. So they are definitely one that if you like storyline and you like to have connection to the characters and really great acting in your horror films, then definitely watch those movies and watch the new one when it comes out because I'm sure it's going to be amazing. Did watch the Abigail movie as well. I actually did this as kind of a double feature with me and my husband this weekend so we could catch up on doing some movie reviews for you guys. So I will definitely be putting that out shortly. So if you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell to make sure that you get notified when that drops. And also, thanks so much for watching. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you, and have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time, guys. Bye.